Okay guys, here we go with my braised red cabbage with apples dish. And for this we need half a red cabbage, 3 onions, I got a mix of colours there, 3 cooking apples, 1 clove of garlic, some ground nutmeg, I've got a whole nutmeg pictured there, my microplane in the dishwasher, so I ended up using ground nutmeg, ground cinnamon, ground cloves, brown sugar, red or white wine vinegar, I'm using red, and about 25 grams of butter. Here we go then. You're going to need a medium-sized casserole dish with a lid for this one, and get yourself a large bowl and 3 smaller ones just to put the prepared ingredients in. And preheat your oven to 150 degrees fan, but more about this at the end. So first up is to shred the cabbage, and I tell you what, you probably get away with 1 small cabbage. This one was a bit of a whopper. Okay, so cut the cabbage in half. Cut it in half again, so that's quarters, and remove the rough, tough core in the centre. Peel back and discard the outer leaves, they're probably far too dry anyway. And then shred or slice the cabbage by whatever means you see fit. I used a knife because I want my bits to be all different sizes. You can use a food processor. It will all be an even size then, a little bit clinical for me. And then drop the slices into the big bowl and break them up a little bit as you go. Top, tail, skin and chop your onions. Not too fine a chop and not too big a pieces, sort of medium. What are these? About 6mm, I suppose. That's 1/4 of an inch for the likes of Barry up there in the Wirral. Peel core and slice your apples. I quartered these first, just getting fairly small slices, don't want them too big. And again, they're about maybe 6mm thick, I suppose. Time to prepare your spice mix with the sugar. 3 tablespoons of sugar, I'm using light brown for this one. In with 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. You can leave cloves out if you want. Cardamom might be a good substitute actually. 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And give it a mix up. And the reason we're putting the cabbage, apples, onion and spices all in different containers will become evident very soon. Grab your clove of garlic and finely chop. Into the spice mix with it and toss it around so the garlic's all coated. And last but not least is to chop your butter up into fairly small knobs. Knobs of butter. I wonder why they're called knobs. Grease your casserole dish. You probably don't need to do this, but it's not a bad habit to get into. And here's why all the ingredients are in separate bowls. We're making like a lasagna. So in with some red cabbage, a sprinkle of salt and pepper, on with a layer of apples and a layer of onions. Sprinkle over some of your spice mix. and repeat until it's all used up or you cannot get any more into your casserole dish. Bit of advice here, really cram the ingredients down, because once it cooks they'll reduce down to a third of what you can see at the moment. Save a bit of the spice mix for the end, and in with a good glug of, well, in my case, red wine vinegar. I'm guessing about 3 tablespoons for this. And start dotting your knobs of butter all over the top of the mix. And at the end, sprinkle over your sugary, spicy garlic mix. Lid on and in the oven for a good couple of hours, but more about that in a moment. Well, there we are then, guys. That has been 2 hours. Okay then, before I show you this, my braised cabbage normally cooks in about hour and a half, 2 hours at 150 fan. Now, this is, as I can't really show you, can I show you? It's quite a deep casserole dish, and I normally use a shallow, wider one. So I'm wondering, has it taken a bit longer to cook because it's deeper, or because the cabbage from Lidl is quite hard? I don't know. Doesn't matter. So what I did after an hour, I was going to stir it after an hour. So what I did was up the temperature to 200 for the second hour, and it all cooked down lovely jubbly. Still hot. It's been cooling. Look at that. God. That's been cooling down now for a good 10 minutes and it's still steaming hot. Oh, that is perfectamundo. So if you're using a deep dish, deep casserole dish, I'd suggest upping the temperature to 180 for hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay then, so let's have a taste of this. Just a little bit for now. Ouch, 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 ouch. Right then, here we go. Still a bit warm. That was well worth waiting for. I'll tell you what. Oh, sorry. The apple in that is incredible. And the cabbage is well, as soft as you like. That is absolutely brilliant. The cloves, which are normally quite overpowering, they're there, but only just there. They're not too much, you know what I mean? That is another double diggy thumbs up. Wow! Fantastic. Oh, I'll tell you what, guys, I'm ecstatic with this. That is brilliant. Right, before I get too carried away, this can easily be reheated after about 2 days, leave it in the fridge, or frozen. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to decant this back into here. Oh, because bad planning Steve has got a pizza tonight. I'm going to put that back in there, and I will decant it into little takeaway containers and freeze it. Good for freezing. And this will be making another appearance on Christmas Day. Oh, look at that. I gotta have some more, sorry. Brilliant. I'll tell you what, I don't say this lightly, that is one of the nicest vegetable dishes I've ever cooked.